Hello. Today is my first video. Yeah. It's new. This kind of stuff is new to me. I mean, I'm not the world's best videotaper, as I am using a flashlight and an iPad 4th generation stuck to each other with Scotch tape, which is pretty creative, but it doesn't work super well. But it works. So, today I wanted to do a quick review of the iPad mini with Retina Display, which has an A7 chip with a 64-bit architecture and an M7 motion coprocessor for motion processing, I guess you could say. And it's 1.3 gigahertz, compared to the iPad Air's 1.4 gigahertz. And I like it overall. It's a great tablet to use. I'm using the iPad mini smart case on my iPad mini. It's a great case. If you have an iPad mini and you don't have a case, you should definitely get it. I love it. And yeah, so let's talk about speeds and benchmarks. Okay, so next I'll open Geekbench, and this says it's the iPad mini Retina. It's on iOS 7.0.4 with the Apple's A7 chip, which is clocked at 1.3 gigahertz with 976 megabytes of RAM, which is pretty much the same as saying it has 1 gigabyte of RAM. So, let's run the benchmark, and I'll be back to you when it is done. Sorry about my video angle change, but had to be done. So the processor, a single core score came up at 1398, and the multi-core score was 2514, which is 8 times as much as the original iPad mini. Of course, I don't have the original iPad mini, but if you were to look the iPad mini up and its Geekbench scores, you'd see this big jump in performance. Now, it's hard to see it on screen, but if you went to an Apple store and looked at this, you'd be amazed how crisp the screen is compared to the original. Now, the iPad mini comes in at a pixel resolution of 2048 by 1536, and which has a pixel density of 326 pixels per inch. Now, I want to show you how fast the games can launch on this. So let's open a game such as, let's go Temple Run 2. And Temple Run 2 can be graphic intensive, but it's not super graphic intensive. I mean, if you were to launch it on like an A4 equipped iPod Touch 4th generation, you'd see how slow it pops up. Now, just to show you the comparison with that, I'll bring an iPod Touch 4th generation into the picture. And we'll close that. And just to show you that the real setup, I'm going to actually close all the apps on my iPad mini. And I'll be back with Okay, so now that I have the iPod Touch unlocked, you can see a big difference here. I mean, these both have Retina displays, but if you go into the About, and you scroll down, and you can see with the brightness turned down a bit, that this is actually running iOS 6.1.3. Let me show you that. And it says 6.1.3 right here. Okay, and that is the latest version supported for this iPod Touch is iOS 6.1.5, but we'll show you that a bit later. We'll talk about that a bit later. So in my settings, you can see I'm on 7.0.4. It's just easier to tell. And so these are the two devices, and today I'm going to be comparing start times, different things, and that will be the wrap up to my iPad Mini with Retina review in comparison to the iPod Touch with Retina Display. And this is the 4th generation iPod Touch with Retina Display. And this really needs a lot of app closing. So I'll do that, and I'll be back to you. You can see that this iPad Mini Retina and this iPod Touch 4th generation have no apps running. So we're going to go into games, and we're going to press Temple Run 2. Now, Temple Run 2 can be a bit graphic intensive, so see, the iPad Mini started up right away. It was right into the app. And we're still waiting for the iPod Touch to load. And we need some Jeopardy music. And there it goes. The Temple Run 2 is now on, which took a lot longer on this. I don't know what it was, but now we're gonna put the Geekbench to the test. Now I know you're there. This, and then you go into settings, and actually, I don't know why I went into settings. I'm gonna go into my stuff, and I'm gonna open Geekbench 3. Now, I already have the benchmark from earlier that I showed you. Now let's just run the benchmark on this. As you can see, this is an Apple A4 chip running at 800 megahertz with only 250 megabytes of memory or RAM. So let's just go with this, and I'll be back when it's done. It finally finished, and as you can tell, this is a one-core processor, single core, and because the single core score is 215, multi-core score was 214. I don't know how that's possible, but maybe it's just two different scores. Now look at that, compared to this. It is ridiculously much faster on the iPad Mini Retina than this iPod Touch 4th generation. iOS 7 has a lot of really cool, amazing features now, like Control Center. And Control Center lets you do AirDrop, turn that on to contacts and everyone. AirDrop is essentially a Bluetooth-based sending feature between multiple iOS devices. It's not compatible on all iOS devices. The iPad 3 is not compatible with AirDrop, and lower devices aren't compatible either. There's AirPlay mirroring, which I honestly love. And AirPlay mirroring lets you connect to your Apple TV and mirror whatever's on your iPad to your Apple TV, which I think is a really good feature. From here you can change your brightness settings, or you can turn up your volume and turn down your volume. You can also play your music. And then you can also open your clock app straight from here. And then you can have your world clock, your alarm, your stopwatch, your timer. You also can have you can also have your camera too from here. And you can take pictures, video, and it's interesting. There's also there's also all the other iOS apps that usually come with this, and it's just a great device. I'll show you like the physical aspects of it next. I'm gonna show you some of the physical things of the iPad that now they have the Lightning connector, which debuted last year, but it's great. You have your stereo speaker grills, which are great. You have this mirrored chamfered edge, which started with the iPhone 5 and the original iPad mini. It's just beautiful, and it mirrors and reflects. There on the side, there's the volume rockers, which you have your up and down switch, which are actually separate compared to the original iPads. And then you have your aluminum switch for mute and rotation lock. You have your lock button up here. You have your dual microphones, which is on the iPad Air but isn't on any other. You have your color matched headphone jack. You have nothing on this side. And then you have the iPad itself with its camera. And if you look really closely to the left of the camera, you can see an ambient light sensor. That's for detecting the brightness. And then you also, it's 7.5 millimeters thin. So on this iPad, you have your home button. It doesn't have Touch ID though. Yeah. That's it. Sorry for the quick interference. My taped light tripod rig fell down. We have a FaceTime HD camera which shoots 720p HD video, and I think 1.2 megapixel camera. We have the rear camera right here, which is a 5 megapixel iSight camera, and it shoots 1080p HD video. And that's pretty much it in the physical aspects. Let's go to more of the comparison between this and the iPod Touch. So I want to show you the iPad mini smart case. It comes in a couple colors. It comes in brown, blue, beige, red, black, and yellow. I'm pretty sure that's it. If I missed one of them, tell me in the comment section below. Well, it sort of has the little iPad mini smart case thing down here, and the little strip for cellular connectivity. We also have a little hole for the camera, and headphone jack holes for the microphones. We have the Lightning connector, which is big enough to use third-party accessories. So that is the iPad mini smart case. My tripod sort of fell, so I had to change angles, but I think that's it for this video. I hope you like it. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and there'll be links below. And yeah, have a nice day.